Good morning, YouTube. Let me do a woe is me. Woe is me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, everything's my fault. Oh, let me take the weight of the world on my shoulders, right? Look how terrible I look. I had to be hella toxic to respond this Herxheimer-y to the 2 rounds of ozone that I took that I should have took that second one. Now, I'm crying to my best buddy, my best text. I'm quiet until and then I start thinking about my kids, and then I start thinking about their struggles, and then I start thinking about experiences and feelings and emotions and things actually passing through DNA to your children. Good things, I think, can travel through your genetics too. There was something, I don't even know where I saw it, but I was like, oh, I didn't know that this actually was in the DNA. And I'm thinking, so therefore, this is one of the reasons I believe that trauma perpetuates like it's a curse almost. It passes from parent to child to parent to child. Is we don't know that it's written in the code. It's just like it passed, like hairdressing. Boop! It passed through my code to me. Another interesting one was my friend she's white, and her ex-husband was from El Salvador, and they had a child. This child came out, spent almost no time with her father, but yet several years into this child's life, the mother realized the child could speak perfect Spanish. She's like, how is this possible? It's written on her DNA. That when she was around it even a little bit, it was just whoop. It was very much already there and just needed to be kind of pulled forth somewhat. So I'm thinking to myself, ugh, our poor kids, right? Our trauma is going, it's like, I've got my mothers and fathers, whoever, I met them, and I don't know everything about them. But picture this. My biological mother witnessed her mother be shot. And then she escaped. She ran out the door. She said her father shot a bullet and it whizzed past her head. She felt it and she ran to whoever. I don't know where she ran to, who helped her and whatever. And then moments later, he shot himself. Then she gets shuttled from North Carolina to Maryland, where she had become pregnant by she claims she was roofied by an older friend and date raped, which she wasn't even aware of until another family member came in. I heard what happened. I heard what he did. I heard what you two did. You should do. And she's like, what? And then all of God, she's pregnant. And then it was like, oh, at any rate, like these was succession, like quick. She has been so incredibly traumatized. It was written on her DNA. Came right to me. Then my trauma, let's pile that up. Then that's passed on to my children. And I'm wondering, why does my son often feel that he can't? I'm not going to succeed. Or one of my daughters, how come at times that I'm thinking, based on learning these new ideas, it's no wonder they feel frozen. And I'm thinking, look at everybody around us. And we're all going through it. And I'm thinking, let's look for the happy events and the positive, productive pieces of data that are written on our genetics. The hairdressing, enjoy it, love it. The dance that my daughter came through. My biological mother danced when she was young. She took tap, ballet, jazz, whatever that all was. For her, and it's like, it's clear that these things are genetically passed, these positive things. So I think we've all maybe looked at that like, oh, he's a doctor just like his father. She's a dancer just like her mother. But nobody really thinks, hey, the traumatic shit also passed. We don't know why that person became a drug addict. We don't know why that person's so fucked up. Maybe it was that. And if we can not, well, what are you going to do with this information, Karen? So what? Maybe be aware of it. And maybe the person can say to themselves, it's not me that's just fucked up, but I received genetic information that's in me that just says that. It doesn't make it true. It's not even me. It might not even have been your parent. It might not even, it's just, and maybe this is what the church or the whole Christian thing is about, original sin. Like it passed. It just started to, I don't know. I don't claim to have answers about that particularly, but it's an interesting concept, and I want to focus on what were the good things that I know were written on my genetics because I just had a flair for it. And let's focus on that today. Look at what do you have a flair for? What do you have a flair for that people say you do that you might not even believe because of your negative data written on your DNA? Shh, don't look at your good points. You don't have any. All this bullshit. Let's see if we can't find the delete button for those data markers, whatever they are, in us. And hit the delete button every time we find one. Yeah? All right. I woke up feeling completely apathetic and ready to die. I mean, just because of fear, just because of what was written on my genetic code. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, maybe not. So I'm going to go out and put my hands in the soil today, and I'm going to fix up the Toad Resort and things like this. Food for thought. And dancing is going to have to come in and Tai Chi. I'm thinking Tai Chi because I've got a little bit of joint problems in this. The slow, deliberate movements and the opening, the positioning of the body, and the strength building, and the meditation, like quality to Tai Chi. I've always wanted to do it. I'm never brave enough to do it. I can't do that. I'll never stick with that. I never stick with anything. Oh, my parents telling me, you never stick with anything. Shh. Shut up, Mom. You don't know shit. Anyway, she's still stuck in her trauma because if she wasn't, I'm talking about my adopted mother, then she'd have called me by now. Like my cousin did the other day. Well, he texted me when he saw something pop up accidentally on the Facebook in my story. I'm so thrilled. I'm in contact with my cousin, and I just said, Lenny, I'm going to use him like a tool. Not in a bad way. No, I'm going to play a mind trick with myself and use his love towards me and mine towards him to literally fill in those gaps of the craving for that family to love me, my parents. Hey, he's good enough. He's the nephew of my adopted mother. And he loves me. I know he does. I love him. So why can't I let that fill that hole? Boop! The adopted family hole. I've got one adopted family member that wants to love me. See, I wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? It's like, it's cool. And I said, Lenny, look at this. This is a good idea I have. He's like, yeah. I believe he's a psychiatrist. He's at least a psychologist. I know he's got a PhD. I'm like, are you a psychiatrist? I don't even want to ask. But anyway, I know he's a therapist. So I'm like, but he's a real genuine, love this guy. Was raised with him, saw him, I spent lots of time when I was a child around him at my grandma's. I mean, we were together. So he was always very, very kind to me, and I know he's not an asshole psychiatrist. So the one in the few, he's just like that hybrid psychiatrist, you know what I mean? That looks at the material and says, gleans a little truth from it, actually helps his clients. So I'm certain of this. And all right. Peace out, YouTube. Let's focus on our genetic strengths. What you got a flair for? Go have fun with it today.